Welcome back to Reptastic Adventures. I wanted to do a quick video as I've had a lot of requests, or actually a lot of questions, about securing enclosures for the tortoises and turtles here at Reptastic. So what I wanted to do was kind of go over the steps that I take in regards to making sure a tortoise can't get out or a turtle can't get out, whether it be digging or climbing, and even predator proof. So there's a few different things you can obtain. You can buy some of the stuff. I'm sure a lot of it's all on Amazon. There's a dig defense animal barrier that you can buy. Now I'm going to show you. I'm in the Russian tortoise pen, and the Russian tortoises are known to dig. They love to dig. In fact, there's been plenty of times over the years they've tunneled for when they would brumate, and they would actually come out on the other side. They would go this far down. It's crazy. So what I wanted to do when I moved them over to this enclosure was prevent them from being able to do that. So this is what I got. Check this out. This is the animal dig defense that I was talking about. It's just a barrier that goes in the ground. You just use it and tap it lightly with the hammer, and it's going to help stop them from digging out. So I put them along here, okay, and look how I just tap it nice and lightly. It's not that expensive. You don't want to hit it too hard because this one is not of steel and it's not quite as strong, so you can easily break it. But you can see this is firm. This is in there pretty good. And I just go evenly, nice and lightly, and slowly bring it all the way down to the top of the grate here with the Russian tortoises. And then, so that goes, those barbed wires go down. So if a tortoise tries to dig here, the chances of that tortoise getting under and into this next pen is slim to none. Now, I wanted to do that on this side is because that's where they've been digging. They've been digging out of this corner. I put a rock there, but I just got more of this in the other day, so I wanted to, go around and put some of that in. Not only for diggers, but also, again, for predators like skunks, which they love to dig up eggs. They're not really fond on attacking the turtle by any means, but they will sniff out eggs and ruin your day. So that has happened to me multiple times. And every time I feel like I take that next step to secure the enclosure and the property, they always find a way. So you got to get as many of those as possible. They're not that cheap, but they're also, they're reasonable. You can get, I think, 15 pack for maybe 40 bucks or 50 bucks, something along those lines. So, but check this out over here. So here's my Russians. My Russians are eating pretty good right there. They got a couple heads roaming. I already installed it on this side here. You can see there's some here, you don't even see it because it's burrowed. It's already down. But here this is a different brand, but there were tortoises that were digging out here and they were coming out here. Well, they were starting or trying to, and I caught it in time. I saw them digging, they were getting close. I was like, that's enough of this. So that is one way you want to keep your turtles and tortoises from digging out underneath their pens. And also the predator-proof electric fence. This is 1.2 joules, which is a 30-mile fence, I believe it's capable of handling. And I always go up a little bit stronger than what they recommend. You can get this at Tractor Supply. You probably buy it online as well. The cost is somewhat reasonable. The most annoying part of this is running the wire. It takes a long period of time, and it depends on how big your pens are, of course, but this goes all the way around all the pens. So there's got to be 400, 500 feet at least. I would say way more than that, actually. Starting to think about it. Might be like 700, 800 feet worth of this. But not only is it going around once, but 3 times. So the way I run it is, I have a hot, a ground, and a hot. If they're touching the ground and they touch a hot, they should get hit. If they're touching somehow, they're standing on a rock or something, they're not touching the ground, they're not grounded, and they're touching the hot, they won't feel it. But that's why I put the ground in the middle, all right, just in case. So if they touch these 2 wires here, they're gonna get hit. And I always go a step up in terms of what they recommend in regards to for raccoons, skunks and stuff like that, just to make sure it's really strong and it's going all the way around. You want this animal, raccoon or whatever, skunk, to get hit and go, wow, I ain't coming back here, and just take off running. I've got, I'm sure, video evidence of it in the past of raccoons coming up, hitting it, getting zapped, making a noise, and taking off. So that's the goal here. Now, ever since I put in the privacy fence, and then I got the animal barrier dig defense there system put in along the bottom, I've never had really issues with raccoons. Raccoons are climbers, but I also took precaution with the trees that are on the other side of the fence. I wrapped them in aluminum, and it's about, you know, maybe this high, so they climb the tree up to a certain point, they can't go any farther. So they can't climb a tree and then come back over into the yard. I did that without having to cut down the trees, obviously. I wanted to kind of keep the trees, and that was a good way to just keep the raccoons out of the backyard, and then also from digging. I haven't had a raccoon in my backyard in years, and I have some pretty good video camera surveillance system here. The skunks, however, the skunks have dug, and they've gotten better at it, and they found a few different areas, but the raccoons don't dig as much. So I just wanted to touch on that. I want to show you, like, when you have an enclosure, it's also important to put a lip on the top. Not for all species. You have certain species that don't climb, and if it's high enough, you don't have to worry about it. But sometimes you will have tortoises go into the corners, right? And they'll kind of just hide in the corner, and another tortoise will come up behind it, climb on top of it, and then use it as a ladder to get out. And that's another thing you got to look for. So tortoises, turtles, they can use each other to climb. They can also use, we have branches and debris. This is like an old pine tree here. Believe it or not, I had and I said in one of the other videos with the pancake tortoises, I had a female pancake tortoise get out, but we ended up finding it. The neighbor did, actually, and got lucky because they're expensive, and there was only one female in this enclosure. So I wanted to make sure that this male stays paired up, and they're very comfortable out here. They're one of my favorite species. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of them dig before, but then I installed the fencing on the bottom, and now they've been secured and unable to get out. Those ones we found in the yard, that was going back a few years ago. The other one that was found by my neighbor, she brought it back, and that was just a world of relief. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't even know it was missing. So this lip here, this is only 2x4, and the reason why it's only 2x4 is because we're dealing with pancake tortoises. They're small tortoises. They're good climbers. They'll climb up on these rocks. But as far as going straight up, I mean, you know, their shells, they're not going to be able to swing. They're not Spider-Man, you know, they're going to swing over. You get like a bigger tortoise, might be able to run right over this. So the bigger the animal, obviously, the bigger the lip you might need. The higher it is as well is better. So it's so important, if you can, to have a lip, have the electric fence, and you'll be able to keep your enclosures natural without having netting over top of it, and making it look and feel as natural, and allow you to enjoy it, because you want to be able to go in and out of your enclosures with your animals to check them out. Here is the Armenian Greek tortoises, the golden Greek tortoises. Now these guys aren't really big diggers. In the wintertime, they will go in the greenhouse and they will burrow a little bit. They'll burrow for a short period of time. Check out that. That is an amazing sight. I love this. You can see these guys have been going to battle. Look at that. They've been ramming each other a little bit, which is why you can't put too many males together. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this. I'm thinking about building another pen for these guys so I can separate some of the males. The males just get very territorial, and they start ramming each other. They ram the females as well, obviously, when they're trying to get them to breed. So a new addition this year, the Armenian Greek tortoises. They're beautiful animals. And I'm probably going to build another pen and establish another group. But you can see we have hay in here. It's just a little bit. Once we get closer to, I would say, the middle end of October, we'll start loosening up the soil here, putting more hay so they can burrow down. That's really the only burrowing the species is going to probably do in here. Probably just to survive the winter in this greenhouse. I'm going to put them all in here and barricade them in, kind of like I do with the marginated tortoises. But they all look healthy, they all look good, and that makes me happy. greenhouses go a long way, guys. I know I've said that in many of the other videos in terms of just keeping them on the safer side temperature-wise and getting them out of the rain. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to do a video real quick and explain to you how important it is to take the measures all possible to be able to keep predators out and keep your tortoises and turtles in. We don't want them to escape. We don't want them to get eaten. And the worst thing about it is raccoons, they can be so bad and they can come out and wipe you out in one night. They can kill 10, 15 of your turtles in one night and not even eat them. They just want to bite their heads, and it's almost like they just want to suck the blood out, and then the turtle ends up just laying there and bleeding out and dying, and it just goes to waste. So there's really no need for them to even try and eat them. I understand the eggs, but the turtles doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to go over today. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach me in the comments there and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions, you can also hit me up in the DMs on Instagram under Reptastic Adventures as well. Hope I answered some of your questions and helped some of you pre-plan the next enclosure that you're going to build, so it's not just slapped together and you don't lose any of your animals, of course. And that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in the next video.